Welcome to the Social Bee podcast with your host, Louise Brogan. Every week, Louise will be bringing you a podcast all about women entrepreneurs, talking about their challenges, their goals, and inspiring you to either start your own business or grow the business you have. Visit www.socialbni.com to join our community and pick up some lovely freebies to start marketing your business online today.
Hello and welcome to today's episode of the newly renamed Linking In with Louise podcast. So, yes, everybody, I've renamed the podcast. If you have been a long-time listener, you will know that this has been on the cards for a little while. My business, Social BNI, is really focusing on helping people to use LinkedIn to grow their businesses, and also helping companies to use LinkedIn to grow their businesses, find clients, potential collaborators, and really to raise visibility of what they are doing online. We have some new podcast art you may have noticed as well, and I'd really appreciate it if you let me know what you think of it. I love getting feedback from you. I love hearing from you. You can drop me a line, louise@socialbni.com. And of course, you can always leave me a rating or review on Apple Podcasts, which means that more people will get to find the podcast, and hopefully it can help lots more people to really understand how to use LinkedIn. So there will be a new recording of the intro as well. I just need to get around to organising what I want to say on there, which might not sound too difficult to you, but it's something I think I need to take myself away and think about for a day. So that will be something else coming on the card soon too. All right, so before we get into the nitty-gritty of today's episode, I wanted to let you know that I am closing the doors on my group coaching program this Friday. So this is the week starting January 13th, 2020, and the first LinkedIn group coaching program, Level Up Your LinkedIn, will be launching next Monday. I went for group coaching for a variety of reasons, but mainly because I really enjoy working with groups. I have been doing group training online for a couple of years now. I had the Social Bee Academy. I had the mastermind that I ran. I think I ran at least 2, if not 3 masterminds over the last 18 months. And having the weekly live call with accountability and time for question and answers is something I really thrive on. I love being able to help you by answering the questions that you have rather than, the content of the podcast does come from the questions that people ask me about LinkedIn, but not necessarily directly. Whereas when I meet people face to face and they ask me a particular question, I kind of put it to the back of my mind and think, right, I want to do an episode on that. But having people on a live call over Zoom is brilliant because people get to ask you directly. And when you're in a group coaching setting, it's not just you that has the input because other people do as well. And that's why I also have, as part of the group program, a Facebook community. Now, don't ask me why to explain to go into LinkedIn groups on this particular podcast. Actually, that would be a good episode for future. The reason I'm using a Facebook group for the community for the Level Up Your LinkedIn program is because it is really very simple and easy to use. And I have, again, run multiple groups, but also I think people are used to them. People know their way around using a Facebook group. I suppose that's one of the reasons why. So who is this course for? Level Up Your LinkedIn. Well, first of all, I'll just let you know what's in it. That might be a good idea. It is actually a 6-week program taking you from starting out with how to really optimize your LinkedIn profile. So going into all the detail about what to write, how to write it, how to get your profile URL, how to write it in a way that makes people find you easily on LinkedIn, how to write your headline, loads of content. One of the things I also have learned in my experience of running online courses is that people prefer short, sharp videos. So they're not big, long videos. You consume them quite quickly. There's no fluffing and faffing about, just delivering you really good content in short videos so it's easy to consume and take action on. So LinkedIn profile is the first week. Second week is how to build your LinkedIn network. And that's really from the literal way of how to build it, as in how to send the connection requests, etc. But also how to decide who you want to have in your LinkedIn network. And I'm going to really enjoy that week's live call because people will definitely have a lot of questions around that. I'm looking forward to all of the calls, actually. So the third week then is all about your LinkedIn strategy. So why are you using LinkedIn? And if you're not using LinkedIn, why are you listening to this podcast? So why are you using LinkedIn? How are you going to use LinkedIn? How often are you going to use LinkedIn? How often are you going to post? What is your strategy for having... Oh my goodness. 1 second. I apologize for that. That was my phone going off. It's normally on silent when I'm recording the podcast. So apologies, guys. But, we are human at the same time. Okay, so where was I? Yes, so talking about your LinkedIn strategy. Why are you using LinkedIn? What's the purpose? How often are you going to use it? All the really good questions that people have in their heads. And I know they do because they ask me them. So then week 4 is about creating content for LinkedIn. So what content works? And this, again, there will be the literal explanation of how to create the posts and what works best and what format you write those posts in, the different kinds of content posts you can put on there, but also then the strategic viewpoint of what kind of content are you going to put out there that is going to raise your profile and show the thought leader that you are. The 5th week is all about writing articles for LinkedIn, and this has a whole week because during the group coaching for that week, I'd really like the people who are doing the course, that's you hopefully, to write an article and then get feedback on it and suggestions and put it out there into the world. And let's see how it goes with the guidance and support of the whole of the group as well as myself. And then week 6 is, I've called it Winning Hearts, Minds and Business on LinkedIn. So the way that I teach people to use LinkedIn is different to how others may teach it. And for me, it's really all about building relationships on LinkedIn. Definitely not about going straight in for the sale. So that's really the content of the 6 weeks. I'd love you to join us, and I will run it in the future, but I will not be running it at the price that it is at the moment. So go and have a look at socialbni.com LinkedIn group coaching and see if we are going to be a fit for this program. And if it's not for you right now, that's absolutely fine. But I think that this could be the year, should be the year that you really leverage LinkedIn to grow your business. Okay, so anyway, come and join us on that. Also, I forgot to say, that the people who join in January 2020 will also get a 1-hour strategy session with me to work directly on their own business. So we have the 6 weeks of modules that come out every Monday. We have the live calls on the Monday night. So the first live call is the week after the first module comes out. So you have a whole week to do the module. Then we have the live call. The timing of the call is 7 p.m. UK time, which is 11 a.m. Pacific and 6 a.m. in Melbourne/Sydney. We worked all of this out. We have an international group doing the group so far, which is really exciting. Just trying to think in my head what countries are represented so far. I believe there are at least 3 countries in there at the moment. It's not a massive group, but that's just, I suppose, maybe where the podcast takes my voice is around the world, which is wonderful. Anyway, so I'd love you to join. Go and check it out, socialbni.com/LinkedIn group coaching, or just hit me up on LinkedIn or Facebook and ask me for the link directly. Doors do close at midnight on Friday, so as soon as you hear this, go and have a wee look and see if it's right for you. All right, so on with today's meat of the podcast, and I wanted to talk to you about LinkedIn etiquette. Etiquette is quite a hard word to type, I have to say. So every social media platform has its own etiquette or expected behavior. People go to Facebook to connect with friends and family. They go to Instagram because they want their little daily dose of inspiration. People go to Twitter because they want to find out what's happening right now in the world. They go for their news briefs, their news updates. They also probably go for political announcements and scandals, but we'll veer away from that on this podcast. But they go to LinkedIn because they are thinking in a business frame of mind. I strongly advise clients not to post the same content on more than one platform, okay? Because if you think about people going to the different platforms for different reasons, if I'm on Facebook to connect with my friends and family, I don't want to see a big businessy post. If I'm on Instagram and I'm looking for inspirational posts, I'm not there for drama and news briefings. If you had a piece of news you were announcing, you wouldn't be putting on Instagram. Well, that's not quite true of the new royals, is it? Maybe the younger generation, that's what they want to do. But anyway, that's nothing to do with business. LinkedIn is definitely a more business-like platform. But that doesn't mean that your content has to be boring or stuffy or dry. My suggestion to you is to treat LinkedIn as you would treat going to an in-person networking event. So bear with me here. Imagine you're going to a networking event in your hometown this week. And in fact, this evening, I am going to a networking event in Newry in Northern Ireland to meet the ladies of Lean In Newry. And we're going to talk about LinkedIn, of course. But before we do that, we're going to have some facilitated networking. So that's intriguing to me how that will go. So we're preparing for the networking event that you're going to. First of all, you probably go to the event depending on who's running it. Then you might find out if there's going to be anyone there who will be a person of interest to your business. So by person of interest, I don't believe that you go just to connect with someone who you think might hire you or work with you. I think you also go to connect with people who are interesting, who you want to have conversations with, somebody you may collaborate with, somebody who you may talk to who might then refer business to you further down the line. I was researching a little bit for this podcast episode and I came across an article on Forbes about the best way to network. It's by the Young Entrepreneurs Council. So if you just type into Google Young Entrepreneurs Council networking and Forbes, you can read more about this. So they suggest the way to approach networking is to go with the intention of helping someone else. So here's the quote. True networking occurs when there's an understanding that everyone in the room has equal value. In its purest form, it's about people enjoying other people, communicating passions, and connecting with others who share those passions. It's about listening, figuring out what others need, and connecting them with people you think can help without any designs for personal gain. The most successful networkers build genuine relationships and give more than they receive. They go beyond thinking, what's in it for me, to ask, how can I help? Now, I don't think I could write a paragraph that would sum up more how I feel about LinkedIn. That is exactly how I feel about it. The most interesting and engaging people on my LinkedIn network are the people who are helping others. I am continually tagging people who I think would be interested in somebody else's post. Just thinking yesterday, there is a lovely man called Mark. And Mark, I'm so sorry, I forgot your surname while I'm recording this. Mark helps team development by working with animals. Sounds real, like you're all going to go and look for Mark now. So he facilitates team building and team development by working with animals. And we're talking about animals from a zoo here. So anyway, Mark was asking, did anybody know any good stories about working with animals? And I remembered that I had a lady in my 5-day challenge called Baya, who lives in the southwest of Ireland, and she's an Irish storyteller. So I tagged her in Mark's post and I said, Baya, I think you'd be really interested in this. And I says, Mark, Baya is a storyteller as well. So I have now connected those two. And that, to me, that you never know where that could lead. But I really enjoy tagging somebody in something that I think is going to help them in business. So sharing advice, sharing tips, answering questions, looking at what other people are posting and asking and leaving a helpful answer underneath without saying, oh, I do that, contact me. It's not about that. It's about building relationships And yes, someone may contact you then and say, well, actually, Louise, I'd like to talk about that. That's when you set up a phone call. You take the contact offline and you turn it into a consultation or a phone call or potentially a Zoom call where you talk to somebody over some kind of Zoom conversation. So before you do all of this,